Today we are going to be creating our own animated fidget spinner in Python. Now for this project we will actually be using the turtle module. So for those of you guys who have watched my Coding for Kids in Python series, you know that we use the turtle module in so many videos. And the projects we created with it were so cool because they were animated. So it will be great to, go back to using the turtle module in today's video. Now please do make sure to stay tuned to the end of today's video so you can see the final results, and also follow along with me in typing the code so you can create your own awesome fidget spinner. Now let's get coding. Hey everyone, so for today's project we are going to be using Visual Studio. So like I said before, we need to use the turtle module, so let's go ahead and import that into our code here. And now to start off, we'll need to create a screen variable, and it will be equal to turtle dot screen, just like that. And also using our screen variable, let's go ahead and create a title for our window, and let's just keep it as fidget spinner, like this. So that would be the title of our window. And we can also set up the dimensions for our window. So here we'll put in like 4 numbers for our x and y variable, so where our window will be placed on the screen, and also the size of it. So those dimensions will be 800, 600, 100, and then 0. Okay, and finally we'll use that screen variable to create a background color. So we'll use the BG color, and you may be familiar with that because we use this in our other videos where we use the turtle module. So here all we have to do is in the single quotes or double quotes, you can put in the color that you want for your background. So I'll set that as light blue, just like this. Okay, so we can just go ahead and put in this other line of code here. So you always need this when using the turtle module with Visual Studio. You need to put in turtle.done, because if you don't do that, then your window will just glitch on your screen and then it will go away in like a second. So make sure to put that code at the bottom. So now we can just go ahead and run this code, and let's see. Awesome. So you can see that the title has come up at the corner here. It says fidget spinner, and it has set our background color to light blue, and this is where it will be placed on the screen. That looks great. Alright, let's continue with our code. So after setting the background color, we'll create 2 variables, one called turtle, or t, and it will be equal to turtle.turtle, and another called t1, and it'll have the same value, turtle.turtle. Now what we need to do is, using our t1 variable, we'll hide our turtle. So same with t, so t.hide turtle, just like this. So this will make sure to hide our pen tool so it's not shown, so we can see our drawing more clearly. And now we'll use our t1 variable to lift our pen up. So t1.pen up. So just like you would be drawing something on a piece of paper, like coloring, painting, or even just writing like a letter or like an essay, you would need to pick your pen up and then move it to a different spot on the paper, put your pen down, and start drawing again, right? So that's the same thing what we're going to be doing, but in code. So we'll need to lift our pen up so we don't make any marks on the screen when we're moving to the different position, right? So now that we've moved our pen up, we'll need to go to a certain spot on the screen, and that spot will be -200, 200. That's the x and y variable. Great. Now what we can do is, now that we've moved to that spot, we can use our t1 variable to write something on our screen. So we can go ahead and write like fidget spinner, like this. And we can also, let's close those quotation, we can set a font for our text. And that font, we can use one called Jokerman. It is a really cool font that I saw, so just put in Jokerman there. And then we can set the text of the, or the size of the text, and then also we can have the text as bold. Great. So that is good so far. Now we can use our t variable to go to another spot on the screen, and it will be 0, -50. Let me fix this. T dot go to. So now that we've gone here, our pen was still up from this line of code. So now we can put our pen down because we want to start drawing, and we can set the width of our line of our pen as 40. Awesome. So after this, we'll need to create a variable called state, and in curly brackets, we'll go ahead and put in turn, and then :0, just like that. All right, so now what we can go ahead and do is create a function called spinner. So all the code, so we'll put in the code in here for how our fidget spinner is going to look like. So first we'll need to have t.clear, and then we'll create a variable called angle, and it will be equal to state, and then in square brackets go ahead and put in turn, just like that. So we'll also need to set, how we want our fidget spinner to turn. So it will turn to the right, and we'll need to use that angle variable in the parentheses. Now what we'll need to do is create a list which will hold all the 3 colors of our fidget spinner. So I've named it colors, and then in here, let's go ahead and put in the 3 colors we want. So I'll choose pink. Another one is dark sea green 1, which is a really pretty color. And then I'll go ahead and use another one called gold 1. So if you don't want to use those plain simple colors like red, blue, green, purple, you can just search on your web browser colors for the turtle module, and there'll be like many websites which will have tables in them, like graphs, and it will show you the colors that you can choose and then what the name will be for you to put in here. So that's exactly what I did for these 2, and I'll go ahead and use those for my fidget spinner. Now we can put in a for I in range, and we will repeat it 3 times, just like that. And in here, we'll need to put in t.forward 160. So whenever you see this t.forward or t.backward, there's going to be a number in the parentheses here, right? So that number will stand for how many pixels you want to move in that direction. So in this case, 160 pixels. You may know that our computer screen is made up of thousands and thousands of little pixels, and it's basically little dots that make up our computer screen. So that's what we're doing here. We're just saying to move 160 pixels forward. All right, now we can do t.dot, and in parentheses here, we'll have 180, and then we'll use our colors list with the I in the square brackets. And then we'll need to go backward the same number of pixels, 160. And then we need to have t.right, and we'll move 120. So when you see t.right or t.left, you'll see the number here, and that stands for how many degrees you want to move in that direction. So here we're going to be moving 160 degrees to the right. All right, so go ahead and click the backspace, and here we'll have turtle.update. So this line of code will make sure that our computer will keep on updating our screen to give us the latest window of how our fidget spinner is supposed to look like. So now we're done with our spinner function. Let's create another function called animate. Animate, just like that. Okay, so in here we'll need an if condition, and it'll have if state turn, and then if this is greater than 0, so then just put a colon there, and then we'll have state, and then again turn, and then we need to do minus equals 1, just like that. So click enter and then backspace, and then here we're going to go ahead and call our spinner function. So that's very important. Whenever you create a function in your code, you need to remember to always call it somewhere else in your code so that it will actually go back to that function and read and run that code there. So we've called the spinner function here, and we can also put in a turtle.onTimer, and then we'll have the animate function here, as well as the number 10. Oops. All right. Okay, so after this line of code, we're done with our animate function actually. So we'll need another function called flick, and this one is a very short one. We'll just need one line of code. Again, it will be state, turn, and then in this case, we'll need to have it plus equals 20. Alright, so we're almost done, just like 4 more lines of code to do, and those will be turtle.tracer. So we'll set a tracer for this and then set it as false. And we'll also need to have an on key. So in case we need to, turn our fidget spinner, we need to have the user to click a certain key on their keyboard to turn the fidget spinner, right? So that's where we need to use this on key. So we're going to use that flick function because we need to flick the fidget spinner. And in single quotes or double quotes, you need to put in that key for what we're going to use. And in this case, we're going to be using the space bar. So if I click on the space bar, our fidget spinner should turn. All right. And finally, we're going to put in a turtle.listen. So our computer needs to keep on listening to what when we're clicking the space bar, it should always turn the fidget spinner. And finally, we need to go ahead and call that animate function at the end. So now we're done with our all of the code for our fidget spinner. Let's go ahead and run this. I'm super excited to see the output. Wow, so look at that. You can see that it has opened this window. We have our title as fidget spinner, and look how it looks like. This is great. We have the 3 colors that I chose. So pink, the dark sea green. Just look, it's so pretty. And then we have the gold as well. So finally, let's click on that spacebar and see if it works. Wow, this is awesome. So you can see that our fidget spinner is turning. So if we keep on clicking the spacebar multiple times, it will turn the fidget spinner. This was an awesome project. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to NPStation. Also, share this video with your family and friends so they can create their own fidget spinner as well. Now, that's all for today's video, guys. Keep reading, keep coding, and stay safe.